Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be discussing cowrie shells. So let's get started. Very first thing I will be duplicating today are the two earrings here. As you can see, this is bone. That's dyed bone. I think this is dyed with bark, with tree bark. And this stone is, I want to say it's a quartz, but I don't think so. I think this is aventurine, and then the cowrie shell. So today I will be showing you how I string this together, and I will also be showing you, in previous videos I've mentioned that cowrie shells are just one of my favorite shells in the whole wide world. I just love it over with different designs, whether it's jewelry, whether it's on clothing, handbags, and even in home decor. So I use it in quite a bit of my designs. So I'm going to actually be showing today two ways that a lot of creatives will attach the shells to their designs. And this is only two ways. There's just so many different ways that you can actually attach cowrie shells. But we'll be working on this design because right now I am going through beads of box by colors. And this was the last box that I went through to get these beads out of that particular box. And I will be showing you, I think it is in the vault, the bead vault. I think it's a part, well, it may be by color. I was going to say it's in the bead vault by part 2 or part 3 because I've numbered them all, but now I'm actually going through a million beads, and I'm going through by color. So this may be in the rust or caramel bead vault. But anyway, I'll see if I can correct that before the end of the video. But this video today, I'm just going to actually show you how cowrie shells are connected, and then I will be doing these two different designs. So let's get started. First of all, with cowrie shells, they can be connected simply by just using a piece of wire and folding it over the shell, as you can see right here. So you can use a piece of wire, and then you can just start putting your beads on top of the wire. And a lot of times, if you can see here, see if I can get a little bit closer, if you use the beads with the wide hole, see maybe if that's in focus, it will slide down a lot further. So that's one way, using the wire. And a lot of times I will just push, as you can see, I'll push it all the way down, and by the time I stack up, I'll ring the top of my wire real tight so it's all the way down. Because what happens when you use a smaller bead with a different hole like this one, it doesn't leave room for you to go all the way down. So you kind of want that large hole bead or bauble to cover this area. So you're only seeing the shell, and next you're seeing the bead. Another thing I've noticed that, and let's see if I have a pair of pliers here to do this, but you see right here the width of the bead on the back. Is sometimes if you can just chip away right in here, it will slide. And let's see if I can come up with an example. Hold on one second. Let me reach for my pliers here. It's going to make just a little bit of a mess because you're actually chipping away at the shell. But sometimes I'll just take my pliers, and let's see if this bead will chip easily. And I'll just chip away in this area. And it's the area that I'll try and even it out on the sides. But basically, I'm going for this area here without breaking the bead if I possibly can, and just chip away at it, and that way it will allow the wire, see here it snapped, will allow me to slide the wire up a little bit more, and when I can slide it up to here, I can close it a little bit better. Let's see if it's going to allow me to get in here, and if not, I'll use a different bead for an example. So just one second, let me grab this one. So what I'm chipping away is here, right in this area, the smallest I can make it. Let's see here, without damaging the bead. Okay, there we go. So I don't know if you can see how it's skinnier on this side. It's skinnier over in this area. If you can see where I chipped off, you can see that edge. Then it is over here. And what happens when you can do that, so let me, skinnier over here than it is over here. And what happens when you can kind of just chip this away a little bit using your pliers. Okay, here we go. You can take wire, and when you put the wire in this time, just gonna fold this wire up. Guess I could have used a straight wire, right? Okay, when I fold it up, you see how the area in here is not as wide when it was down here, like on that side, how now it's a lot closer together. So it allows your bead to go all the way down. See the difference in that? Now you have no area in here for the bead to, like on this one. See if we can get a comparison. That will make a lot more sense here. Let's see if we can get there in this bead. Okay. So you see here where you can kind of still see the wire on this one versus not seeing the wire on that one, on this one here. And that's because I've trimmed the back of the bead right in that area, versus this width in this area is keeping the wire here from not folding up. And you could take some pliers and kind of push it in a little, but a lot of times that's what I'll do. I'll just trim that on the back of the bead. So that's a cowrie shell tip. Okay, so I said two ways. One way is actually using the wire. My favorite way for using cowrie shells is the method I use here, and that's with the jump ring. So you can see the jump ring right here, and I'm getting ready to demonstrate on these two pair of earrings right here, so you can just see me put them together. But the jump ring right there, that for me is a very easy way. Sometimes I will just match, let me move this mess out of the way. I will just match up cowrie shells that are alike and just put jump rings on them. I'll just do that for the whole evening because, as I stated earlier, I tried to do 50 pair of earrings in one setting. And if I just line them all up, and I will line them up in pairs and matching pairs, because all of them are unique, normally in color and size, but you can get some that are similar, or you can match them up as best you can. They won't be perfect, and my stone customers know that stones are not perfect. If they want identical perfect, then they have to go with the artificial route, which is the resin route. That's the only thing that's going to give you the exact same thing, because they're stamped. Excuse me. But when you're talking about Mother Nature and you're talking about stones and where those are, they all have their character. But anyway, I would line these up by pairs, and then I would actually go through and put jump rings on all of them. And then I set them aside for whenever I need them. They're already there with the jump rings, and it just makes everything go so much faster. So let me show you first. Let's do this earring here. And I'll explain to you as I work through it. Okay, and I am looking for, forgive me, okay, my stem. This is the stem that I will use because I need to connect the jump ring onto the stem. So the first thing that I'll actually do is I'll open up my jump ring, and I think this is the mate to this example that I use. So let me take this off of here, and I will attach my jump ring, my cowrie shell to the jump ring. And when I attach my cowrie shell to the jump ring, I will also attach it to the stem with the loop on the bottom. Once I've done that, I'll close this jump ring here. I'll close that. So now it gives me my cowrie shell as a dangle. And for this one, for this right here, I did put a small, it's not a seed bead, but it's a very small bead, flat bead. And this is to keep this stem from going through the holes on my next bead. And this is actually a bone bead. I think a bark dyed bone bead. And then I have this. There is, I don't know if you can see this, but this was actually some kind of home decor. I can't remember exactly what it was because I got it in pieces, but it was home decor. And there's a strand of nylon that's tying all of these together. There's a strand of nylon that's tying all of these pieces together. So they're like 7 wood pieces. And I want to put this through the center. And that will let my pieces hang. And I do kind of want to match them up with this. So I'm kind of looking to see in the center where I'll put it. Okay, but I do want to cover up this area in here. So a large bead at this point, which I have in here, that one right there, if you could see it, will help me cover up that. Now I did try a larger bead, but it didn't quite sit right in the center. It just kept kind of popping out, and maybe because I still needed to make it tight. So I switched over to just a slightly smaller bead. And that bead is this bead here. Okay. So with that bead, it kind of really hides the center of the earring, the stem in the center of the earring. And then at that point, I added, as you can see here, some more of the little small discs. And I think if I'm counting correctly, it's 1, 2, I think it's 3. Let's see here. And I'll double check my other earring just to make sure it is 3. And then here's another bone bead here. And this has a large opening. So this is really good for when you want to put it over the cowrie shells here. Like this cylinder bone bead right there. See how that covers that up? And like I said, you can squeeze your wire even closer together so you get a nice tight look like this, where you can only see the shell and the bead. So, but anyway, today we're using it on this one. Okay, and then at the very top, I thought I had 2 beads, but looks like I only have 1. We're going to use, okay, I'm still holding this in my hand, I don't know why. Okay, And I'm going to fold this wire over, and I will put my, let's see, okay, yeah, I actually have a ear wire on this, and let me see if this ear wire is open. I kind of do my wires, once I fold it to the side, I kind of fold it over, but before I fold it all the way over, see here, I will grab my ear wire and I'll just keep twisting and twisting until I get a circle. A lot of times I'll go back and adjust it. And this wire, sometimes, see here, there we go. You have to turn it around so you have your whole side that's even. Okay, so I'll set this aside, but these are the two earrings, and like I said, they're made, I'll have to adjust the little bobbles on it, but they're actually made from bone, and also this is wood. These are all wooden pieces there. So I'm going to set this aside, and that just goes to show you, let's see, I can set it aside where you can at least see it, right? This is just the earring that has a lot of volume. Now I have a lot of customers that love this type of earring because it's slender and it still gives you some shape here, but it actually gives your neck a slenderizing look. Okay, and let's see what I'm missing here. What I am missing here is, sorry guys, let me grab another bag. Okay, this is my wire or my stem, and this is the stem once again with the loop on the end, and that allows me my dangle from the cowrie shell, or the dangle with the cowrie shell. So once again, I just open up here, I put it around the cowrie shell, and I also grab, there we go, get back in frame here, and then I close that up once I have the stem and the cowrie shell on. And this, as you can see right here, like the cowrie shell right here, I got a lot of cowrie back here, so I'm going to see if I can just crack a little bit of this. There we go. You can see that piece right there, but it just helps me with my jump ring, so the jump ring isn't trying to fit around the cowrie shell and not have enough space for the stem. Make sure I'm back in frame over here. So I just trim that just a little, the shell on the back just a little, and this will give me some more space for the stem. Okay, and then once I get my stem on, I just follow the order of the beads. I have one bead on the bottom. I have my precious stone, and I said it before, but I'm really going to have to get my stone book out, so I'm calling these stones by their correct name. And then I have 3, and this is bone too. This is all dyed bone that I'm using here. Some very small pieces of dyed bone. So I have 3 on the bottom, and then I'm going to put my large bone piece here, and it does have 3 holes, guys. So you can see I took this off a bracelet, and that's why I said you can get your beads anywhere. This came off a bracelet. You can see the 3 holes, and I'm going to use the center hole. And then I have 4 see here, 4 on the top. And then I will make my loop. Okay, that is my 4 on the top. I'm going to hold the earring in my hand. Whoops. Wrong loop. Just going to bend it this way. Okay. And the reason I'm bending it this way is because I want, let me see if I can show you. Let's see how the circle, let me get to the front of the earring. Okay, this is the front, because this is the front of my cowrie shell, and this is the front of the bone piece. And you can see right here at the bottom where the loop is, how it's facing left and right. That's how I want my stem to be, left and right. So the earring will all be centered. So after I push there, I'm going to just take a little bit and start this way. And before I close it, reach over here. And I want to make sure that I am putting my stem on, my earring closure on correctly. So I've already took a glance at it. I've made sure, I think I've made sure, let's see, this wire is twisting around. Okay, that's the front. So I'm going to take, well, of course it does that as soon as you get on camera. I want to make sure that my loop is going from left to right as well. And I'll get in there and tighten it after the camera. But anyway, the point is I want this here, this, my top, and my front bead, and my cowrie shell to all be facing, excuse me, all be facing the same way. That's the whole point. So I'm going to get in here and readjust that and make that perfect. But anyway, these are your 2 sets of cowrie shells. So I basically just wanted to show these 2 earrings that I'll be showing again out of the caramel bead vault video. And then I also wanted to show the different ways that you can actually attach your cowrie shell to any piece of jewelry. So that is with the jump rings that we used here, and that is also with the wire. Okay guys, and that is going to be it for today. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you, and if these are videos that you like, please like, comment if you have other suggestions, and subscribe to our channel. Alright guys, thanks again, and I will see you soon.